name is Matthew from CA News, and we just got a word of a plane crash. For what we know so far, the passenger on the plane has made a distress call. The air traffic control tower was able to communicate with the passenger briefly to try to find out information. However, they were unsuccessful. When we have any further information, we will report back to you. Hi, this is Matthew Ames again from CA News. I am here with the follow-up of our previous report about the plane crash. We found out that the passenger had located the emergency transmitter and turned it on briefly. So we're able to get a general location on where the plane might be. But we have an expert photographer named Mr. Smedstead who is going to present a simulation of a map for what we think happened during the plane crash.
This is what we think the area looked like. We think that the plane crashed somewhere into an elephant lake. Let's ask my dear friend Mr. Castle about the terrain of the forest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smedstead. I would love to share. First, let me talk about some trees in this forest. There are various kinds of trees in this specific forest. Some might include sugar maple, paper birch, yellow birch, and red oak. These trees populate much of the land. The Canadian forest is in a remote location in Canada, which may make the search for any human life difficult. I wish you the best of luck to find him in these woods.
Thank you, Mr. Smedstead and Mr. Castle, for that wonderful information. Rescue workers and helicopters are headed to the suspected location where the transmitter was left on to try to look for survivors. We'll try to give you updates as they come in. We have an update to the plane crash situation. A pilot who was referred by map and tree trapping camps was for future buying heard a transmitter go off and was able to locate a single survivor named Brian Robinson. Apparently, the Cessna 406 plane crashed when the pilot had a heart attack, and Brian took control of the plane and was able to luckily land it into the lake and survived in the wilderness for 54 days. Now we go to our special reporter, Mr. Dunn, at Brian Robinson's home to interview him about this experience.
Let me start off by saying we are sorry for what you had to go through. What did you have to do to survive?
I had to make tools and find shelter and food for myself.
What struggles did you have?
Well, one night I woke up to a rustling sound and I jerked my foot and realized that a porcupine was trying to take my food. Another time I was fishing and a moose rammed me with its antlers and my ribs felt horrible for the next few days. While I was gathering food, I was terrified by a black bear I saw.
Where were you headed?
I was heading to my father's, but then the pilot went off course because of a heart attack and crashed into the L-shaped lake.
After this experience, would you ever fly in a plane again?
This experience was bad, but if I were to fly again, I'd go in a much bigger plane.
Thank you so much for your time. Your experience was amazing, and thank you for sharing it for us.
Well, there you have it, CA viewers. The incredible story of a 13-year-old boy who was able to survive alone for 54 days. He only had his hatchet the mother gave him and the brains to make him successful out there in the forest all alone. The story was a fine example of bravery, courage, perseverance, and survival. We can all learn a lot from Brian and his story.